Welcome to Grixis Inverter. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, we've got a one lander on this one. Not too good. Let's go to mulligan on that one. I liked it. Other than yeah, this is fine. We've got Thought Scour, Op, Terminate, Lightning Bolt. We will keep on this one. We'll see. Hopefully the scry is something good. If not, then we'll kind of go and make this work. All right, let's go and keep on this one. It's going to be the scry. The swamp. We want the swamp on top. We're looking to put us at double black. Yeah, let's go and put it on the bottom for right now. Since we already do have Blood Crypt in the hand, and Polluted Delta, yeah, we're just going to go and hold on to that. Let's go ahead and get down the Polluted Delta, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. Okay, but yes, welcome to Grixis Inverter. If you did not see the deck tech, what are we doing? Basically, we're running Inverter of Truth in here. And Inverter of Truth is a 6/6 4-drop. Enters the battlefield, you're going to shuffle, exile your library, and then shuffle your graveyard, and that becomes your new library. Now basically, at this core, it's going to be just a good value Grixis stack. At its core, that's what it's going to be. Let's go grab the Watery Grave. Let's go and shock this one. And we're going to pay 2 life, and then let's go and get the graveyard going. We're going to go for Thought Scour. Let's kind of start working towards that. Young Pyromancer are wonderful. Exactly what we need. And Electrolyze. Let's go and shock the Blood Crypt in. We're going to pay 2 on this one. Let's get down Young Pyromancer, Young Peasy, the token generator. Oh, yes. Get down Young Pyromancer, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. But we're only running 2 copies of Inverter of Truth in here, so we're not all in on running Inverter of Truth. The main reason we are running it in here is there's just going to be some games where, we have Lightning Bolt, Electrolyze. Maybe we can sculpt our graveyard with something like Murderous Cut or Gurmag Angler. And then we can really start drawing into Electrolyze and Lightning Bolts to make sure we have got some good stuff going. All right, now our opponent's going to lead off with Temple of Abandon, Urborg, and then go for Life from the Loam. So I'm not entirely sure what we're playing against, but it's definitely going to be interesting. We'll see. Hopefully we hit the lane for the turn. That'll put us online for Electrolyze. Wonderful. Let's go and get the Polluted Delta down. Let's go and swing it for 2. We're going to put our opponent down to 18. Now, depending on whatever they're doing, hopefully we can get a pretty good clock going with the Lightning Bolt and the Opt out there. Let's go and swing it for 2. It's going to put them down to 18. And then anything else. No, we're going to go and pass the turn. Now, we could go for Electrolyze if we wanted to, sending that 2 damage up top. But if we go for Lightning Bolt and Opt, that's going to be 2 more creatures that we can start swinging in. And I think I kind of like going for that. And our opponent did go for the Life from the Loam Dredge, revealing the Abrupt Decay in the graveyard. So we might be playing against some sort of Jund list, but typically you're not really going to see Life from the Loam in your standard Jund list, but that appears to be what it is right now. Okay, an opponent's going to go for Life from the Loam, targeting the mountain and the underland. Let's go ahead and go for the Opt and the Lightning Bolt. I like going for that this turn. They didn't get any creatures down. That's going to be us swinging it for 4. Let's go and go for that. We're going to go for Lightning Bolt up top. That's going to be red. Get a nice elemental creature token onto the battlefield. Sorry, my hotkey wasn't working for some reason. There we go. Let's go ahead and crack the, or do you simply just want to go for Opt off this one? Yeah, let's go ahead and crack the Polluted Delta. That way we don't have to do it next turn. Let's go ahead and grab a Steam Vents. Not going to pay 2 on this one. We'll go ahead and go for the Opt on that. Get the Scry and the Scurry. The Fever. The Insanity. All right, Polluted Delta. I'm just going to put it on the bottom for right now. And then we draw into another Young Pyromancer. Delightful. And Jace the Mind Sculptor. Okay, let's go and push in for 4. Like, push it in for 4. That's going to put them down to 11. This is going to put them at Electrolyze down to 9. And then next turn, that's going to be us swinging it for 5. Puts them down to 4. We could go for another Young Pyromancer trigger. We may want to get Jace down with this Young Pyromancer out there. So I think we're just going to go hold on this one. If they do get some sort of creature out there, we either have Terminate or Electrolyze online. And then Electrolyze is going to allow us to draw an additional card to hopefully find that 4th lane to go and get down Jace the Mind Sculptor. But yeah, so we are running Inverter in here to allow us to kind of flip our graveyard back into our deck. But at the same time, running Young Pyromancer in here, turning your Thought Scours and Lightning Bolts into elemental tokens really helps you get down Jace and kind of protect Jace, depending, especially what your opponent's playing against. And especially once you go double Pyromancer, you get into spots where you end up with a lot of tokens on the battlefield. It feels really good. All right, opponent's going to get down the Overgrown Tomb. Let's go and go for the Electrolyze up top. We're going to click OK. We're going to send 2 damage. And I want to make sure that we can't actually see. I think that's 2 damage. I don't know if the little arrow's covering it up. Hopefully it's going to, I would like for it to be 2 damage. I'm going to trust that Magic Online is going to okay, there we go. All right, the Ripping the Thought Scour. There we go. Yeah, that little arrow is covering up the damage icon, so I couldn't really tell. All right, so we're going to be able to swing in for 5, puts him down to 4. Yeah, I like going for Jace on this one. Let's go and swing in for 5. It's going to put him down to 4. We'll go and shock the steam vents in, and then we'll get down Jace and be online for that. You know, if we had lightning bolt or something, we wouldn't go for Jace, but at least this way it's going to allow us to start digging for an answer. Let's go for Jace. And since they do have life from the Loam out of the graveyard, even if we Fate Seal, I mean, we could maybe kind of catch something, but for the most part, it's going to be hard for us to deal with that. Let's go and go for the Brainstorm ability, draw 3 cards, and Kolaghan's Command. Let's go and put the Terminate and then Terminate on top of our library. We haven't seen any creatures from our opponent. We can at least, worst case scenario, go for Thought Scour next turn. We'll be able to dump those 2 Terminates into the graveyard, like during our upkeep or something like that. And then hopefully maybe dig for something with Jace. Either we can hit the land drop and then use Kolaghan's Command and some sort of Lightning Bolt to kind of help us kind of close the game out. Okay, opponent's going to go for Seismic Assault, deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Okay, so this is, I guess, a Seismic Loam. I forget the actual name of it. I've seen it before, but it's been a long time since I've played against it. And that's going to be them. Discard a land card. It deals 2 damage to target creature or player. They're going to take care of Young Pyromancer. The good thing at this point right now is it's taking them a while to find Seismic Assault. So at least at this point, you know, even if they do blast our elemental tokens, they're going to have to at least burn 2 more land cards to send it over at Jace, since Jace is sitting at 3. Or at least going to allow us to kind of push past this Seismic Assault. And thankfully, we do have Young Pyromancer in the hands, a little bit of a backup duty to kind of get those elemental tokens going. But with Life from the Loam bringing 3 back each turn, that's going to be really hard for us to keep up with that Seismic Assault. In fact, I'm going to grab my pin on this one, see what they're going to bring back with the this particular Life from the Loam. They're going to go for the Graven, Blighted, bring those 3 back, and then they'll be able to at least blast the elemental. And once again, they're going to have to burn 2 more lands to take care of Jace the Mind Sculptor. So we'll see what they're going to show for it. All right, they're sending it up top. That's going to put us down to 10. Even if they do have 4 lands in the hand, that's going to be 8 damage, or at least they're going to be able to survive this one particular one. Excuse me, they redirected it over to Jace, so they are taking Jace off this one. And they did discard the Blighted, and that's going to leave up Graven that they did get rid of. So it's going to leave Ghost Quarter in the hand with 1 more card, too. Okay, definitely want to go for Thought Scour on this one. We don't really want double Terminates in our hand. That's really not going to help us. And then next turn, they're going to be able to tap with Seismic Assault, Life from the Loam. That's going to be another 6 they're going to be able to do. So we're looking at about a 2-turn clock on this one. If we want to, we can, with them dredging Life from the Loam, we can go for the Kolaghan's Command play during their upkeep. I think I kind of like going for that. Let's go for Thought Scour, though, targeting us. We're going to discard 2 cards, mill 2 cards, and then we'll draw into Thoughtseize, and then we drip into another Thoughtseize. Okay, at this point right now, I think we're just going to go and pass the turn. We're going to wait for them to dredge Life from the Loam, and at the end of their draw step, we're going to go for the Kolaghan's Command to make sure that they discard that. There we go. All right, deal 2 damage to target player, and then they're going to discard a card. There we go. Choose both our opponent. That's going to be black, red, and then blue. So they're going to have to discard a card. They do have another card in the hand. At least we're going to force them to get rid of one of them. And that way it's not going to be just straight 3 lands. Or maybe there's 4 lands they're going to be able to get into somehow. Okay, and they do get rid of Graven. So that does leave simply Life from the Loam from that. Alright, now they're going to have to cast Life from the Loam. That will put them at only 3 lands in the hand. Now, we do have Young Pyromancer. We can start to try and build up some sort of board state. Unfortunately, though, with double Thoughtseize in the hand, it's going to make us a little bit... not the best, simply because we're going to be losing 2 life from these Thoughtseizes, and we're going to be looking at in the neighborhood at Young Pyromancer. Okay, let's do this. I think I like getting down Young Pyromancer, and then going for Inquisition of Kozilek. We're still going to get a trigger on there. We're going to target our opponent. Yeah, we're going to go for Inquisition of Kozilek. We'll still get that elemental token, and that kind of puts them in a weird spot to where maybe they don't really want to burn some of these lands on Young Pyromancer or the elemental token, and we can somehow kind of start going from there. All right, so we'll get one of the lands onto the Young Pyromancer token, and then next turn we can do it again. Not super wild about using Thoughtseize to get this going, but we'll see. And there should be 2 more lands in the hand off this Inquisition of Kozilek. All right, 2 more damage to the elemental. There we go. Just want to make sure those lands aren't directed at us and blighted. Okay. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of graveyard style decks, and playing against a seismic assault deck like this is a lot of fun. And in fact, I am recording in the tournament practice room. One of the main reasons that I like to do that for is that you end up with a lot of cool matches. There's a lot of skilled pilots in the tournament practice room. You can see our opponents playing seismic assault, and I don't know. I really enjoy playing. Tier 1 Magic's always a lot of fun, but getting to play that Tier 2 stuff sometimes, against John Seismic Assaults, it's always a lot of fun, and it kind of teaches you to be a little bit more Magic nimble. I don't know how to describe it. If you're going to go to a tournament and if you know all your Tier 1 matches, that's great, but let's say you get paired against that one oddball deck, that Tier 2 deck, Tier 3 deck, and with Modern being a format of you being a really good pilot. All right, opponent's going to completely tap out for Worm Harvest. So that's going to be 11 tokens on the battlefield. So this one right now, we're pretty much just we're on Lightning Bolt or Bust or something like Electrolyzer Kolaghan's Command. Yeah, because they dredge life from the loam, they'll be good to go. Let's see what we rip into. Draw into Polluted Delta. It's not going to get it done. Yeah, because they go Life from the Loam, they swing in for 10, that's going to be 11. Even if we go Young Pyromancer and go for double Thoughtseize, that's going to be us losing 4 life, and just kind of puts us in a pretty bad spot. So good game to our opponent. The worms are going to get it. We get wormed out on this one. Let's see. Let's go ahead and bring in the Spell Snare. Typically, when you're playing against these Life from the Loam decks, one of the things that you can do is really attack that Life from the Loam draw step. But if you can keep them from getting that Life from the Loam going, it's really hard for them to get some good stuff going. Disdainful Stroke's not that good. Ceremonious Rejection, Anger of the Gods. Let's go ahead and bring in at least one copy of Is It Staticaster. That way we can kind of maybe catch some of those worm tokens off guard. Inverter of Truth. This, I actually kind of do like Inverter of Truth in this one. Let's go and back off the Murder's Cut. Let's go and back off the Double Terminate. We didn't really see any creatures from our opponent. Probably just looking at pretty much just kind of Life from the Loam style. Anything else that we want to cut? We brought in the Spell Snares, Double Negates. We need to cut 2 more cards. Just go and back off the Hero's Downfall. I like the Double Electrolyze, Double Kolaghan's Command. You need to get rid of 1 more card. Let's get rid of one more op. There we go. I like that. Let's go and sort by converted mana cost. Love it. Let's go and shift this one over to game 2. Welcome back to game 2, and we are on the play. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, we've got double Pyromancer. Yeah, I like that. If our opponent's going to be dredging a lot, we don't really have a lot of spells to back it up with, but typically double Pyromancer is going to win you the game. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that's going to be good enough. Let's go and put the Steam Vents into play tap. Not going to pay 2 on this one, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. Let's get this popped up. But yeah, we've got enough creatures in the hand to really put some pressure on our opponent. The only thing that we're really missing is some Thought Scours and some ops. So hopefully we can get our graveyard going. And if we, happen to rip into some good Electrolyzes and Kolaghan's Commands, we can kind of sculpt that graveyard with Inverter of Truth. Let's see if our opponent has any sort of turn 1's hand disruption. All right, doesn't look like we're going to see that. I like that. Let's go and get down the Dark Slick Shores. Let's go and go for Young Pyromancer. There we go. Young Peasy, get that down. And then we're going to go and pass the turn. All right, so now if we do rip into another red source, I really like getting down double Young Pyromancer and going for Lightning Bolt. That does kind of put us in a spot to where we might be running into some sort of, we are playing against John. We do have to watch out for Anger of the Gods or something like that. But, I kind of like going double Pyromancer. It's going to be our best way to kind of get some good pressure going, unless it's an Abrupt Decay. There we go, Abrupt Decay, that's fine. We still have super secret backup Young Pyromancer in the hand that our opponent does not know about. And we draw into the Spire Bluff Canal. Wonderful. Just like we drew it up. Let's go and get that down. Let's go for the Young Pyromancer, and then anything else. Now we're going to go and pass the turn. So we have Lightning Bolt in the hand, and then we can start going from there. Now with Snapcaster, that just put us online for Lightning Bolt. Unfortunately, the Inverter of Truth, we didn't really have that heavy of a graveyard style hand, so we're gonna have to hold off on Inverter of Truth. But there's gonna be some games to where, let's say your opponent's kind of exhausted their resources, you can get down Inverter of the Truth with not that good of a graveyard and simply close it out with the 6/6 flyer. If they do go for Countryside Crusher at the beginning of your reveal the top card, it's a lane card. It gets plus. All right. Do we want to go for Lightning Bolt on this one? Yeah, let's go and go for that. We don't really want any extra land shenanigans for them. It's going to give us an elemental token and then still give us 3 bodies swinging across or 3 damage coming across. I like that. All right. Let's go and push in for 3. It's going to put them down to 17. And then let's go ahead and put the Dark Slick Shores into play, because actually I kind of like going Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt, and that way it's going to kind of really accelerate our clock. So I'm just going to put the Dark Slick Shores into play. It's going to come into play tap. That way at least we have 5 mana available whenever we shock the Steam Vents in. But I really do like going for the Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt play, especially if they're getting something down. That's going to be 4 between the Young Pyromancer and the Elemental, and then Snapcaster was going to be another 6. All right, Abrupt Decay. Let's go and go for that. We're going to go Snapcaster. Get that down. We're going to flash back on the Lightning Bolt. And the good thing about Inverter of Truth is we're going to be able to get out from underneath that Abrupt Decay. Let's go and go for that lightning bolt. If we just get a few more cards going, actually, I don't mind slamming down the Inverter of Truth to start really putting some pressure on our opponent. All right, they will take care of that last Young Pyromancer token. We're still going to maintain that 4 damage coming across. Let's go ahead and let's go and swing in. That's going to be 4 coming across, puts them down to 10. Now here's the kicker. We go Inverter of Truth, that's 2 cards. That's going to be a clock of 10. That's going to have them on some sort of spot removal. We still have Kolaghan's Command to follow it up with if we want to go for that, but it's going to leave us at 1 more draw. Do we want to go for Inverter of Truth with 2 cards in the graveyard? I think I like it. Oh, I like it. Let's do it. All right, we're going to go for Inverter. It's going to have them on some sort of spot removal for Inverter of Truth. I like going for this one. We're going to exile 2 Young Pyromancers in there. We still have Kolaghan's Command. Let's get the Steam Vents into play tapped. Anything else, we're going to go pass turn. All right, we got 2 cards in the library. All right, so that will be 8, 9, 10. We do have lethal represented right now, so they're going to have another piece of removal. We did run into 2 abrupt decays. So at this point right now, I feel pretty confident that we're going to be able to get this going. Even if something does happen to Snapcaster, at least we do have Kolaghan's Command to deal 2 damage to target creature or player. But yeah, we've got double Young Pyromancer in the graveyard. Let's see if our opponent has anything to kind of show for it. Okay, our opponent's going to go for Countryside Crusher. That's going to be a 3/3 body. Now, with Kolaghan's Command, we can either send that up top. That's going to be us coming across for 6. At least we're going to be able to close it out the following turn. We can get down Young Pyromancer and still do that damage to the Countryside Crusher, and then kind of go from there. Okay, then we draw into the Young Pyromancer. Now, is there any certain way that we want to sequence this? So we get down Young Pyromancer, we still get that token going. That's going to give us enough bodies to start swinging across. +1/+1. Yeah, let's go and do that. Let's get down Young Pyromancer. And we're going to go and send the whole crew in on this one. And we'll see if they end up blocking on Young Pyromancer. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. With the elementals swinging across. I think either way, they have to block on one of the elementals, but we're still in line for Kolaghan's Command, so I think we're okay on this one. Let's go and push in. There we go. All right, we've got 6 in the air, and we've got 4 on the ground. So if they do block on one of the elemental tokens, that's still going to put us at 9, and we have Kolaghan's Command to go for that 2 damage up top. So we should hopefully be able to close this out unless they have some sort of spot removal. All right, that's going to be Snapcaster. That's going to be 8. Puts them down to 2. Target player discards a card, 2 damage to target creature or player. We're going to send both of those up top. There we go. All right, we'll still get the Young Pyromancer token, and then we'll have that 2 damage and hopefully go and close it out. I doubt there's going to be any sort of locking. There we go. Opponent's going to scoop it up. We're going to go over to sideboarding. But you can see where there's going to be little, I'm not sure how to say it, pathways or little lines of play that you can go for to where hopefully it's going to allow you to close it out. Anything else that we're going to bring in as far as the side, we could go for Collective Brutality to catch some of those abrupt decays. But with the Hand Disruption, I think I kind of like leaving it like this. So let's go shift this one over to game 3. Okay, welcome back to game 3. Love this hand. We're going to keep on this one in a heartbeat. We've got Young Pyromancer, get some tokens going. We have some value with Snapcaster and a little bit of way to kind of get the graveyard going with Op, so hopefully we can get some good stuff going. And our opponent did go for the Overgrown Tomb Shock, so let's see if they're going to be able to get down. They are going to go for Thoughtseize. Okay, let's see what they're going to take on this one. Okay, and our opponent is going to take the Young Pyromancer off of that Thoughtseize. That is pretty brutal to us, but we can definitely bounce back from that, especially ripping the double lightning bolt. I like it. Let's go and get down the... Do we want to shock the Steam Vents in? We don't really see any creatures, but yeah, let's be a little bit safe on this one. Let's go and get down the Dark Slick Shores. That still leaves us online for Opt, and then, just in case our opponent has that good God hand of, Life from the Loam and Seismic Assault, next thing you know, we're getting blasted 6 a turn by that. I kind of don't mind being a little bit conservative with our life total, especially after last turn of getting down Inverter of Truth with only 2 Young Pyromancer tokens out of the graveyard. That's typically not what you want to do, but if you think you can close it out, or you got a hankering, you can close it out and go for it. Makes you feel magic alive when you get to do that. All right, so our opponent's going to go for Faithless Looting. They're going to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. We'll see if they're going to discard on the back end, then we'll go for this Opt. Okay, we get a Life from the Loam discard and then Overgrown Tomb. All right, we'll see if they can use that last black mana. Now, let's go and go for Opt. We're going to scry 1. Do we want the... Yeah, I think I kind of do like Polluted Delta. Let's go and put that on top. Be a good draw to make sure that we're making our land drops for the turn. And then we draw into Thought Scour. Let's go and get the Polluted Delta down. And then anything else. Now we're going to go and pass the turn. So we're looking at Thought Scour. We are going to be able to crack Polluted Delta, get that going. Since we do have double Lightning Bolt, this kind of makes this Inverter of Truth actually may not be too bad on this one. We do need to hit our fourth land drop, but once we get the double lightning bolt going, you know, it's going to put them down to 10. Swing in from our Inverter of Truth, it's going to put them down to 4. And if we rip into double lightning bolt or something like that, we can definitely get that going. Now, we do have lightning bolt and Snapcaster Mage, so we may not even have to go for Inverter of Truth. So at this point right now, I think I do like at least sending one of the lightning bolts up top, especially them being down at 16 off of that Thought Seize and having to go off of that Overgrown Tomb. So we'll definitely try and capitalize on that. See what they're going to go for with this turn. More than likely, it's going to be that Life from the Loam. Bring some more lands back to the hand. All right, there we go. Overgrown Tomb and then Mountain. Let's go put Life from the Loam in the bin. I'm just going to crack the Polluted Delta. Let's go and grab the Blood Crypt on this one. We have a lot of red sources. We're going to pay 2 life on this one. Let's send the Lightning Bolt up top. That's going to be 3 damage. Put them down to 13. Let's go for Thought Scour to kind of start fueling up our graveyard a little bit. And then we draw into another Steam Bits. Okay, that's going to be our 4th land drop for the turn. And then we draw into Watery Grave. So we go Lightning Bolt, Snapcaster on something, puts him down to 10. That seems like a pretty good draw on that one, especially if we get rid of that Lightning Bolt and get down Snapcaster, start swinging in. I think I like that. Let's go and do this. Let's go and shock the Steam Vents in. That's a pretty enticing pile right there to kind of go for Inverter of Truth. So we're probably going to go for that next turn to get some pressure on our opponent. Anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn. So this one right now, we're looking at Lightning Bolt up top, puts him down to 10. We're going to flash in Snapcaster, and then the following turn, that's going to allow us to start swinging in for 10. I guess technically we could Snapcaster Bolt, but if we're going to go for Inverter of Truth, getting that in there, we've got Electrolyze, and we'll have at least double Lightning Bolts in there. I think I kind of like going for that. Unfortunately, we do have Thought Scour. Probably not going to be going for Thought Scour too much with about a 7-card deck, but we'll try to make it work. Opponent's going to go for Faithless Looting. Okay. Yeah, but I do like going Snapcaster Lightning Bolt. So we go Lightning Bolts, puts them down to 10. We start swinging with Snapcaster, puts them down to 8, and that puts us on Inverter of Truth. One swing in, and then we just get lucky with Lightning Bolt or Electrolyze on a hot draw or something like that. And that'll be pretty good. And then we do have at least 1 Seismic Assault in the graveyard for our opponent, so I'll definitely take that. Let's see if they shock the Overgrown Tomb in. Oh, they do not. Wonderful. All right, let's go and go for a Lightning Bolt up top. It's going to be red, and we're going to go for Snapcaster Mage on an empty bin. All right. And we'll target 1 card just for something. There we go. Target that Opt, and then we're going to go and pass the turn. See what we draw into? Draw into Jace the Mind Sculptor. Okay, let's go and push in for 2. We swing in for 2, put them down to 8. Yeah, we can even follow it up with Jace on Inverter of Truth to make sure we hit one of those Lightning Bolts to help close it out. I think I like that. Let's go and shock the Steam Bins, and we do have double black. It's going to put us down to 13. Let's go for that Inverter of Truth. So we're at least representing lethal next turn. They're either going to have to deal with Snapcaster or take care of Inverter of Truth somehow. We're going to exile our graveyard into our library. We have double Lightning Bolts and Electrolyze, with us having Watery Grave in the hand. So we can set up a turn next turn to where we get down Jace and then Brainstorm into one of those Lightning Bolts, or maybe a few of them, and then we can start kind of directing those over to our opponent. But let's go and get the Inverter of the Truth down, and we'll have the trigger on the stack. All right, there we go. Exile our library, and that's going to leave us 8 cards on top. Now, basically, our money cards are going to be double Lightning Bolt and Electrolyze. So we're looking at that out of 8. Let me see, 3 divided by 8. So we're looking at about, we got about a 38% chance of ripping into one of the lands that we need, or one of the cards that we need to help us close it out, because they're going to have some sort of spot removal for Inverter of Truth. Now, they can get down Seismic Assault. That will be 3 red, and that's going to put them at an active Life from the Loam for a bunch of cards. So they can go for that Inverter of Truth. But between Jace digging for a little bit deeper, we might be able to kind of close it out from there. If not, we can just simply hopefully keep our fingers crossed that we draw into enough burn spells to kind of help us close it out. I'm just going to go for Seismic Assault. Now, that will be them. If they do end up going for Life of the Loam, that's going to be the completely burning Inverter of Truth out on 3 lands to go for that. Let's see if they're going to go for Life of the Loam too. All right, Life of the Loam, Mountain, Temple, and then Urborg. Let's go and write those down. Mountain, Temple, and then Urborg. Okay, and they are going to discard the Temple of Abandon, and we'll probably see that Mountain come down here in a second on Inverter of Truth, and then at least we'll be able to get down Jace. Now, with Jace's Brainstorm, hopefully we're going to allow us to stack it to where we can get some good stuff going. But thankfully, with our Graveyard Exile, we do have enough burn to send that up top. Hopefully we can survive the Seismic Assault. All right, there we go. Opponent's going to go for Inverter of Truth, and that was Ghost Quarter, Overgrown Tomb. So that does leave Urborg and Mountain in their hand. They can go for that. As if they want to chunk another land at Snapcaster, they did get rid of the Mountain. So we're looking at Urborg still left in the hand with 2 cards. All right, there we go. Let's see what we draw into. Draw into Snapcaster. Let's go and go for the Watery Grave. We're going to go ahead and shock this one in because hopefully with Jace we can get some, make sure that we leave up red on this one too. Get down Jace, and the good thing about Jace is, even if they do have a Seismic Assault land to chunk, we still at least get this Brainstorm going. Alright, we're going to go for the draw 3 cards, put 2 cards back on top of our library. Draw 2 Electrolyze. Let's go and put the Polluted Delta on top, and then we're going to put the Thought Scour on top too. Alright, there we go. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn. Now, the good thing with us getting Jace down is, typically, we're sitting at about 12, so that's going to be 2 life from the Loam turns to where they can start sending that over to us. What we can do is, with Jace on the battlefield, it's going to allow us to they're going to have to start directing some of those lands over at Jace to get rid of that extra ability. Now, we do have Electrolyze. We can send that up top, puts them down to 6, and then Snapcaster coming down 2. And we'll see what lands they brought back. So we're sitting at least 4 lands in the hand in that life from the Loam. Okay, we're going to get Seismic Assault, and they're going to probably redirect that over to Jace. So that will be at least Thought Scour and the other card on top. We do have Snapcaster, so if we want to, we can still Thought Scour. That's going to be draw for the turn. Let's see, so we're at 6. We draw for the turn, puts us down to 5. Thought Scour puts 2 more in there. That puts us at Lightning Bolt. We'll see exactly what we want to do on this one. Okay, we can at least go for that Electrolyze to draw this because it's going to be Polluted Delta on top. So that'll be the 1 card that we draw. So if we go for Thought Scour, we'll get rid of 1 card too. Let's do this. All of our stuff are instant speed. Let's just go ahead and pass the turn. We at least have Electrolyzer drawn to that card, so that will put us, I'm trying to figure out if we want to go for Thought Scour or not. We still have Snapcaster. Yeah, let's go do that. Let's just go and pass the turn. There should be 2 more lanes in the hand. That's going to be 2 more damage. It's going to be 4. We're looking at maybe about 10 from our opponent, depending on how many more lands they have, especially if they get rid of that, and wait for that life from the Loam. We'll see if we can close it out on this one. Either way, it's been a great match. I've really enjoyed it. And then this is what makes me really enjoy the tournament practice room is you get some really interesting matches like this. All right, they're going to go for the life from the Loam, bring those lands back. Yeah, the main thing is we have Thought Scour on top. We have the land on top, which is definitely going to be a dead draw for next turn. So what we can do is we can Electrolyze for 2 damage, puts them down to 6, and then we can Snapcaster back on the next turn, puts them down to 4. Now, if they're tapping out, let's see what they're tapping out for. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, opponent's going to go for a flashback on Faithless Looting. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. They might be trying to close it out with lands. We'll see. If if they get to the magic number of 6 lands in the hand, that will be 12 total damage. So we'll have to watch out for that. Okay, and they're going to go ahead and pass the turn. So at this point right now, we go for Thought Scour, put the top 2 cards of the library. We know one of those cards is going to be our land card, and they'll be able to draw an additional card off of that and still go for Thought Scour. We're pretty much dead on Snapcaster, so we need to use Snapcaster as a flashback on Lightning Bolt. Simply because if we flash it in right now, there's nothing that we can target, and they'll be able to go for that, with Bajuka Bog too, so that's fine. Go for it. We don't really need any of those cards anyway. Alright, so they get down the Bajuka Bog, which is a little bit interesting to me. Might want to save that for a lane card or something. Let's go ahead and go for Thought Scour. I think I like doing that. Either way, we've got Snapcaster, we've got it online, we've got Electrolyze. Yep, we're going to choose us on this one. That's going to be 1 land card, and hopefully the other one's not a Lightning Bolt. Let's see what it is, though. Put the top 2 cards. One of them is a Lightning Bolt. It's not too bad. Let's go and go for the Electrolyze up top. That's going to be 2 damage. Or actually, if we go Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt, that'll take care of them. And we can still go for the Op, too. Yeah, because they're not going to be able to deal anything with that. Let's do that. Let's go Snapcaster. That still puts us on line for Opt and Electrolyze. So we're going to go Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt. That's going to have them burning one of their lands on Snapcaster. We still have the Lightning Bolt, puts them down to 5. Electrolyze puts them down to 2. And if we get lucky and run into that Lightning Bolt, then we'll be able to kind of go from there. All right, opponent's going to go for Seismic Assault on Snapcaster. That's fine. Let's go Lightning Bolt up top. It's going to put them down to 3. Oh, I did that out of order. Should have gone for the Opt. Either way, we should have enough mana next turn. We draw into Young Pyromancer. Let's go and do this. Let's go ahead and go for the Electrolyze. I'm going to click OK. It's going to be 2 damage, put them down to 3. And I think that last card should be Lightning Bolt, if I'm correct, because we did have 2 Lightning Bolt. There we go. And we send it up top. Oh, look at that. Put them down to exactly 0 cards left in the library. Okay, there we go. Got a little lucky on that one. Maybe we could have sequenced that one just a little bit differently. Good game. Definitely enjoyed it for sure. All right, we're going to be able to close that out one. We have Lightning Bolt on the stack with 0 cards left in the library. That makes Inverter of Truth a very happy camper. But yeah, you can see where this deck's a lot of fun. There's some times where I don't know, there's some lines of play that you normally wouldn't go for, but we got to kind of sculpt our graveyard and our library into something that really helped us kind of close it out. So, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.